Football, sliced and diced, with Sedgemoor FM and Somerset FA.
Welcome to our first episode of Sliced and Diced, where we're having open and honest conversations about local football. I'm Neil Fellows from Sedgemoor FM, and this is Paul Coltman from Somerset FA. Paul, I want to just address the elephant in the room first and foremost. Like, you're from Somerset FA, and I'm a little bit nervous about that. Because the FA are like the football police, really, aren't you? I mean, you've got rules, you've got sin bins, you fine people and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just a bit worried about how much trouble I might get myself into just in being in the same room as you.
For sure. The FA, whether it's national or Somerset FA, we are ultimately here to help. We're here to advise and support and develop football across the country and across the county. But to be fair, I'm the same. You're the media. I don't. There's no comment. No comment.
Well, the media. They do like to drum up a little bit of conflict usually, and of course, because it's good for viewer figures.
It definitely. It's all about numbers.
It is. But from our point of view, Sedgemoor FM, we're a local radio station. We want to promote all that's good and positive about the area, so I think this is a great opportunity to share some things about sport.
At the most there, and I think ultimately that's why Somerset FA were keen to get involved. I think the core of what we're trying to do with this Slice and Dice programme is have that open and honest, supportive of each other and the wider football network to help and open some doors and open some eyes as to what actually happens with football in and around Sedgemoor.
Yeah. When we were talking first of all about creating this podcast, you said to me that you wanted it to be about open and honest conversations about football. So tell me a little bit more about that. What's at the heart of that for you?
The heart of that for me is honesty. We want the people that are involved in football, and over the next few episodes we're going to get some guests in, and these are people that are operating football, that are involved in football, that are watching football, managing football, controlling football, whatever you want to do, actually in Sedgemoor and across Somerset. And we want to hear, and we want you guys to hear what they have to say about football, and for them to not feel that they can't say something because it might upset someone, because ultimately we want that to come out. We want the truth. Somerset FA then can work on improving things if needed, or doing what they're doing because it's working and good. You guys can continue doing what you're doing and supporting football and the clubs around, and I think that was the crux of it. We just wanted to create a platform that allowed people in football directly in the centre and those on the outskirts to have a voice and to be heard and have their opinions and views put forward. Yeah, so where though did Slice and Dice come from? Because I've seen the video clip, and you'll see it soon. But I love it. I love the feel and the old school vibe with it. Yeah. But tell us, come on, how did that come about?
It came about because when I started playing football, when I was about 11 or 12, the manager for my team, he would always come on at half time with a little plastic bag.
Yeah.
And in that plastic bag, he had about half a dozen oranges that he had chopped up. Yeah. So when you said you wanted open and honest conversations, I thought sliced and diced.
That is the grassiest of grassroots.
And the next thing that came into my mind was these orange segments that we used to have at half time.
Yeah. Nowadays it's not so much orange segments, but it's these energy pouches that they sort of taking pure sugar out of a pat.
It's a quicker hit these days, for sure. Why do you feel that this podcast is really important? What do you want people to get from this? And why did you want to do this?
So I've been involved in football for many, many years. I look a lot older than I am, but we're talking 30 odd years being involved in sport one way or another. And for me, there's always this sort of semi-transparent cover over sport that those that know, those that think they know don't know, and those that want to know never do enough to actually find out.
Yeah.
My point of getting involved with this is to try and help people that do want to know, and those that have a little bit of knowledge but not enough, try and understand actually what does happen, understand how certain people's roles and how certain people within football across Sedgemoor do and have done and continue to do, sometimes without thanks, to ensure that football is played. There are the lucky ones that are paid to work in football, but there are a much bigger majority that are volunteers, and true. It's these voices that I want to get heard. It's the fans. I want to hear from the fans that hand over their hard-earned money on a weekly basis to watch their local team, whether it's a grassroots team or one of the bigger teams in the area. And why do they do that? Why do they travel to the other side of the country to watch them? I want to hear from referees as to why they train.
So do I. I want to hear about referees.
I think that's an important. I think that's a really important, and I'm really looking forward to that episode. But understand why they do what they do, why they put up with what they put up with, and what makes them get out of bed on a Saturday morning and go and do it all over again. Some of the volunteers, we've got some really great guests coming in for a history of local football, and these are people that have been involved for so long. I think they were Noah's coach back in the day, but these are people that are at the heart of our sport, and that's what
I've seen just in the last sort of 6 months being involved from a media point of view, going along to these clubs and just seeing you go along, you can watch a game if you like, you can have a pint, you can have your burger, but somebody has cut that pitch, put the white lines around it. That burger van is probably someone's living. And there are people that have probably been up for at the club, probably for 6-7 hours, probably even before the game even kicks off. And what I've noticed is how much these clubs mean to people, not just the people who are involved, in the club and the organisation of it, but actually just in kind of the social element of it as well.
I think it's even wider than that. I think even the smallest village football team, the economic impact, the locally, regionally, nationally is massive, and I don't think we really value that enough as a community. How important that little football club is to that whole economic network.
Definitely important. And what's your background in football?
I did play. I played a little bit over the years. I'm a goalkeeper. I'm one of the silly ones that has footballs kicked really hard at me for 90 minutes. And
you're quite mouthy as well.
Vocal. Mouthy is a strong word. I'm vocal. I like to let people know whether they're doing a good job or not. But no, as I said, I've played from a really young age and sort of did my dues all the way through. Played at a reasonable level, but then since the early 20 years January, so this month I've been running my own business, which has been helping football clubs and governing bodies expand their profiles, increase their commercialisation, and ultimately be able to help more people. And I hung up my boots for the 3rd or 4th time last season.
You were like status quo, the final tour.
That's it. But I haven't yet had an appearance this year, and I'm really hoping I don't, because every year it gets harder to get back up again after I make a save. Not that I make many saves now. I'm old, and I can't see it. If I take my glasses off, I genuinely can't see the ball. So it makes what I do
time to stop. Funny, I used to play with a goalkeeper, and I only know this because my ex-wife used to be an optician's assistant, and the goalkeeper went into the place, and he had his eyes tested, and apparently he had some like tunnel vision or something. which explained why he kept letting the ball through his legs.
At Somerset FA, we've got a power chair football, and it's massive.
Yeah.
And I keep asking him if I can use that in a sort of 11-a-side men's game, because at least I'll be able to see that one coming. But it's no, I definitely trying hard not to play. I'm just too busy. I think. I looked at my list this morning, and I'm 130 odd games into this season, having watched. I'm sort of 5 games a week watching at the moment. Don't have time to play.
Puts my 30 into perspective.
I'm lucky. It's my job to watch football in one way, shape, form, or another. So not everyone. Can do that. My wife wishes I didn't watch quite as many, but bless her, she comes to as many as she can. So it's the only way she'd get to see me.
Yeah, true. Well, I hope everyone's enjoyed this first episode of Sliced and Diced. If you've made it this far in the video, would you please put the word oranges in the comments below? And that's just really to confuse people that haven't watched this far. And just to show them really that they've missed out.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to get extra content and support the channel, then check out the Patreon link in the description.